3 Aurora, Colorado police officers and 2 paramedics have been indicted on manslaughter and other charges in the death of 23-year-old Elijah McClain. Now, this indictment comes 2 years after McClain was put into a chokehold and injected with a powerful sedative. Last year, nationwide protests against racial injustice and police brutality brought increased attention to McClain's death. Our national correspondent, that's Jericka Duncan, spoke to his family.
I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious.
23-year-old Elijah McClain's pleas for protection and understanding were ignored by the officers who arrested him after they received calls about a suspicious person. McClain was walking home from a convenience store.
I'm just different. When he was saying, I'm just different, I did everything in my power as a single mom to make sure he wasn't a statistic. He really was innocent. He didn't do anything wrong.
His mother, Shanine McClain, says her son was a kind soul who loved to play the violin. Since his death 2 years ago, she's been praying for justice.
He was a son, a nephew, a brother, and a friend.
Wednesday, Colorado's Attorney General announced a 32-count indictment against 2 current and 1 former police officers and 2 paramedics involved in McClain's death. According to the indictment, McClain was rendered unconscious, suffered hypoxia or lack of oxygen, and his physical and mental condition were impaired after officers placed him in several carotid holds. When paramedics arrived, they injected him with ketamine, a drug used to sedate combative people. But the dosage they administered was meant for someone more than 70 pounds heavier. McClain was rushed to the hospital, later declared brain dead, and taken off life support. At first, the district attorney declined to file charges in 2019, citing inconclusive evidence. But as McClain's death gained nationwide attention after the death of George Floyd, Colorado's governor in June of 2020 designated the attorney general to investigate McClain's death.
We recognize that this case will be difficult to prosecute. These types of cases always are.
Despite no evidence showing it, police claim McClain reached for one of the officers' gun. The police union said in a statement, "Our officers did nothing wrong," and claimed the charges were part of what it called the hysterical overreaction to this case. His parents disagree.
What does justice look like to you?
You can't bring my son back, but we can hold them accountable.
If those 3 police officers and 2 paramedics are watching right now, what do you want them to know?
That they don't deserve the uniforms that they were wearing that night. They don't deserve to be in the field that they're in because they disrespect life.
The Aurora, Colorado city manager said in a statement that the employees have been suspended without pay pending the results of the case. One of the officers was fired last year after he texted photos mimicking the chokehold used that day. The firefighters union representing the 2 paramedics said it is standing by the legal process. It's worth noting that it is rare for officers to be charged, but even more rare for paramedics to be prosecuted. This is just a horrible story all the way around, and having spoken to both parents last night, it's obvious that they're still heartbroken. There's nothing that's going to bring their son back. And then to hear, I think, from the union, saying there's no evidence that the officers caused his death and that this was folks being hysterical and overreacting doesn't help.
At one point, one official said it was because he violently resisted arrest. And I remember this story very well because of his final words, which I pulled today. He said, in part, "I have no gun. I don't do stuff. I don't do any fighting. Why are you attacking me? I don't even kill flies. I don't eat meat. I don't judge people." And then he says, "You're beautiful. I love you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just can't breathe correctly." You could tell this was a different kind of person. Number one, he weighed 140 pounds. I weigh 169, so I was struck by that I weighed more than him. And the amount of the chemical that was given to him, ketamine, was so much stronger than was necessary. You could tell by just listening to him. We all saw the tape that he
very
was
hard
different.
To watch.
He said it. He said, "I'm different. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm an introvert."
And he was wearing a mask because of his asthmatic condition.
And anemia. The police got a call, so they went and checked it out. They checked it out. I don't understand how the checkout went from, "Hey, what's going on? Where are you coming from?" to everyone on the ground.
Yeah, their argument is he was restraining.
He was scared.
He wasn't guilty of anything. He was a guy walking down the street.
But police officers also claimed that he said or tried to reach for the gun at one point. But we don't see that on
We don't
video.
see that, and when you listen to his final words, that also seems hard to believe.
All right, Jericka, thank you very much.